Okay, guys. So, this video, the audio is gone. So we're gonna just go through this video, and then we're gonna just talk about what you should do and how you fill out the assignment. My apologies to you guys who have been watching this video. A lot of you guys have figured it out without the sound, but a lot of you guys would like the video with the sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and re-release this version. So this version will be available on top of the original version. I'm not going to take the original version down, but this video will be available to you as well. So if you have reached out for interest of this video, or you watched the other video and you like to see the updated version, I will send you guys the link to this video. Okay, so let's go ahead and push play and see what's going on, because I can't believe. Okay, here we go. So this is your contract to purchase. Obviously the original video on that is up. The sound is fine, so we're not gonna worry about that part. But this is the assignment part, and what you want to do with the assignment. Okay, I'm going back and forth from the purchase to the assignment. I'm probably explaining some stuff. You're gonna need the address, the purchase price, a lot of that information for the assignment. So I'm sure that's something that I'm probably talking about. Let's see if I'm going to go back to the other document. And we're just going to wait to see what the virtual a few months ago Master Key had going on, because based off of this, seems like she's just hanging out and not explaining anything to you guys. So here we are back on the assignment. So we're going to take the address from the purchase agreement, whatever property that you're looking to use, and you're going to add the address to the subject property. And then you're actually going to be the assignor. So you put your name next to assignor, your LLC. And then whoever your buyer is that you're going to be assigning this to, you're going to put their name or their LLC next to the assignee, which goes right here. And I'm using Big Balling Buyer as an example. And we're going to put the address again, 4. And then you're going to put your LLC right here, because you were the buyer for the original agreement. Right here, you were the buyer. So you put, okay, you as the buyer went into an agreement. You enter into a purchase and sales agreement with Jane Doe, who is the seller. So you put the seller's name right there. And then you have just information right here for the purchase of subject property, and whereas buyer wishes to assign its rights and interests in the purchase and sale agreement, it is hereby agreed between assignor and assignee as follows. So this is between you and your end buyer. Again, your end buyer is the assignor, you're the assignee, or that vice versa. You're the assignor and your buyer is the assignee. Assignee shall pay assignor an assignment fee in the amounts of, and whatever the difference is between what you have it under contract for with the seller and how much you're going to sell it to the buyer for, you just put that here. You put the dollar amount. So on this example, it's $200,000, and then you have to write it out like a check, $200,000. and then you put your LLC right here, your name, your LLC or your name. So the assignee shall pay the assignor assignment fee in the amount of $2,000, $200,000. Put your LLC or your name there. Then you just have a couple clauses. Closing is to take place as soon as title clears. Your earnest deposit, you put that in there, $2,500. It is only refundable if the transaction fails due to a clouded title or any issues stemming from the seller. If the buyer simply fails to close due to its lack of funding, or for any reason not associated with the seller, the deposit is non-refundable. So that clause just says, hey, if the seller's playing around and it don't close, you get your money back. If the buyer plays around and don't close, then the seller gets to keep the money. Right here, number 3, assignee accepts all terms and conditions of the contract for sale and purchase between buyer and seller in its entirety. And that's just stating that whatever agreement that you have in the purchase agreement, that the buyer is accepting it in the assignment. What else do we have here? I'm a little ahead of the video, so I'm gonna slow down and let it speed up. Or actually, I can just fast forward it. Oh, hold on. Yes, I was explaining everything that's in the agreement. That's just stating that they accept that. The buyer accepts it. Because you're ultimately assigning over the original purchase agreement and nothing's going to change. Okay, the second page. Let me play that a little bit. Assignee acknowledges receipts of legal copies of the original contract. So the original purchase agreement, you send that to the buyer. The buyer has to initial it just to confirm that they read it and they agree with the terms. So they have to initial the original agreement, including any addendum associated with the transaction. All original copies have been initialed. Well, it says initiated by assignee, but they just need to initial it. Additional terms and conditions of this agreement are as follows. These are any disclosures and acknowledgments. Assigner and affiliate associates make no warranty expressed or implied regarding inspection reports or other reports provided by assignee, by assigner or third parties concerning this property. Assignee is advised to independently verify the accuracy of all information contained in reports regarding this property. So this is pretty much saying that the buyer, the assignee, have to do their own due diligence. That's pretty much what that's saying in a nutshell. They got to do their own research. They have to spend the money for an inspection or appraisal or whatever it is that they want to do in finding out if this property is something that they want to purchase. At this point they do, and that has nothing to do with you. You make no warranty expressed or implied about anything that's going on with the house. The buyer has to do their own homework. B says assignee acknowledges that they are conducting a transaction dealing directly with assignor for the purchase of subject property. Assignee is not relying upon or being represented by a real estate brokerage in this transaction. Property inspection. Assignee at assignee's expense shall have 5 days after acceptance. So this is just saying that the buyer has a 5-day inspection period to do their due diligence. They can inspect the fixtures, equipment. The assigner shall cooperate in the making the property reasonably available for such inspection. So this is just saying that you will make the property available for them to inspect it during their 5-day period. assignee agrees to indemnify and hold seller harmless from any injury or damage caused by such inspection. So this is just saying you can't go sue the seller if you fall at the property or whatever. So that is pretty much it. It's very simple. Then you sign, and then the buyer signs. You sign, the buyer signs. So as you can see, guys, in the assignment is full disclosure with the buyer. They know how much you're making. They're gonna know how much you're making. If you're fine with that, cool. Majority of the time, that should be fine. I really haven't had a ton of times in the past where buyers have tripped about what I made. I have had buyers trip about what I made, but for the most part, it's not a big deal. Long as they're making money, long as the numbers work for them, they're totally fine with it. If you run into a situation where the buyer has an issue with, or you just like, let's say you just feel the energy with this buyer, like they just, you just know, like you ain't telling what you're gonna make, but you could just tell, like, oh, they not gonna be okay with it. They're gonna try to blow up the deal. They're gonna try to go behind my back or anything like that. I will link my other video on 3 ways to close. You don't have to just assign. This is one way to close. This is the way that most wholesale transactions are done. It's most popular doing assignments, but it's not the only one. So I'll link that video so you can go see the other types of ways to close, because if you're making a nice any assignment fee, I'm not going to put a dollar amount on it because everybody's mindset is different when it comes to that. But let's say you just want to close a transaction, you don't want the buyer to know what you're making. The seller won't ever know what you're making, guys. As long as you work with the title company right and you tell the title company how to handle your transaction, which I do have scripts about how to talk to title companies. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm going to be putting that out soon. So look out for that. But the seller don't ever know what you're making. But if you don't want the buyer to know, then you're going to do something called a double close. So go watch that video. That I'll link it here, somewhere in here and at the end, so you can go check that out. Just, it's going to save you from a headache. So that's all this is talking about. Breaking all of this down. So that's all, guys, for this video. That's how you fill out an assignment. Pretty simple, pretty smooth, pretty easy. I hope this helps you guys. See you guys on the next video. Peace.